Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a great day. Today I want to share this awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure from Super 7 from the Ultimate line. This is of course Triceraton here. It's a pretty big chunky box. You've got the nice purple design here on the box with the Triceraton face looking really cool. Here on the back we've got of course the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, and this is one of the slipcase deals. It's a pretty sizable box, but once you do that, you get this out of the way. You've got the whole break pattern, which is what they've used for all their other Turtles figures, you know. So you've got a bit on Triceraton. They call him the hard-headed horn hoodlum. So again, there you go. And then of course here, you've got your see-through packaging. Again, this is a pretty thick box, so I'm expecting this figure to be pretty big, nice and chunky. You see all the accessories and Triceraton there looking pretty cool. So I'm going to open this up and yeah, give you guys a look. Alright guys, so here we go with Triceraton out of the box. As you could see, he comes with a bunch of accessories, and the figure itself is pretty beefy. Really nice size figure, nice hard plastic. So let's start with the accessories here. You guys could see he gets 2 additional pairs of hands. One has the little metal or silver painted accents on the one hand, and the other one has the fingerless purple gloves. And these are all you know, he's holding a fist there, and you have the, you know, the articulation here, the joint, and these you simply just pop on and off. So you do get that extra pair of hands. The other set are more of these stretched out, sort of like reaching out hands here, as you could see. And same thing, you've got the whole silver painted accent here. And then the other hand's got the purple fingerless glove. And again, these are done really cool. You see the sort of gray nails there, so no issues there. And you've got the same sort of articulation here, joint that you can move back and forth. So that's it for the hands. We'll move on to the awesome weapons this guy comes with. This nice, I don't know what this is. I'm going to call this some kind of machine gun. But it's nice, hard, thick plastic, which is awesome to see nowadays. Like if you step on this, it's gonna hurt. But it's a nice, slightly painted in this. I want to say what this is, like a light metallic kind of blue with some metallic silver accents. Again, it's nice and beefy, and yeah, it's nice to see these nice big weapons for these figures. So you guys can see it's got some nice detailing here on the. It was the magazine, I guess, for the gun. So really cool. The next one is this thing, which again has got a nice handle here. I forget what the name of this is, but I'm going to some kind of laser or drill type thing. You've got little spikes here at the top, same thing here on the bottom, and all these nice little details there that are done really well on the sides. Again, similar color to the massive gun I just showed you. Got the nice little ribbed handle here. Same thing here, you got all this little line work. So again, really cool, and they match up pretty well. I think I'll probably display this guy sort of holding both of these weapons because they look pretty great. So that's that. You also do get his blade, or this here. It's nice green, almost like a Jolly Rancher green color. It is thin, clear through green plastic. It's not shiny, so it's like a bit more of a matte finish. And then you've got the gray metallic silver plastic here painted on. This does have a strap. So again, my assumption is this can go strapped probably on this hand. Certainly not this one because of the spikes on the gauntlet here. But my assumption is that it'll go well in this hand here. So, you know what, let's go ahead and do it now. Yep, you could probably get it over that hand, no problem. There is, again, as you saw, a strap here, so once you get it in place, you can proceed to try and close this in so it's more secure. So again, I think it's really well done, no issues there. The other weapon here is 2 grenades. This is in addition to the grenades that he comes with on his belt that are molded into the belt, so these are separate. My assumption is he could probably hold these in his hand. These are done in like a shiny silver there. So again, no issues with these two. It's nice to get the 2 little grenades. we also do get another wrist mounted I guess accessory here, and this has 2 straps. They are pretty stiff, so I would probably avoid pulling these out far too much, simply because they feel very stiff here at the joints. But I'm going to assume this is some kind of wrist communicator. It's been a while since I've seen the cartoon or read the comics, but it's got a little cool door here, or flap, that you can close and open, and then you see some of the details there. Just some line work, some simple line work, and you got that green square and a yellow square. But I thought this was pretty cool. You've got this moving little flap that you can open and close here. And again, my assumption is that you could probably fit this into the wrist here. Let's see. Yep. You'll have to sort of strap that in, but you can fit that in there if you wanted to. So that's cool. And then the last one here is this rat. Again, really cool. He's got 2 more here on his waist. Those are all kind of molded together, and they're molded into the his belt. So this one's kind of separate. I'm assuming, again, he could probably hold this in his hand here, right? Like if you wanted him to hold the rat, he can do that by the hand. And again, a nice little furry details. He's got I don't know if you could see, like a little X on both eyes. So that's a nice little touch there. And yeah, it's kind of hard plastic here. This tail is a little softer rubber, but it's got some nice fur. But yeah, really, really cool. You see underneath here, his belly. So again, that's a little rat you get. And then the last accessory here is this little mask that you could see. I don't know if you could tell, he's wearing a little oxygen mask, which I thought was kind of cool. You got this clear plastic mask here to cover his face. You got the hose in this clear like rubber that's attached to this silver pack here. And this also has a strap that you can pull apart. So you could take this out, undo it, and also release it from the belt. And yeah, this one, again, I didn't expect this, but again, it's really cool that they included it. It's clear plastic. You've got some painted silver axes and silver horns here on the mask. You've got the hose that's clear like rubber, and then you've got here this little pack here, I guess, to give you his vitals. You see it there, and it's got a little hook here that fits really well, I think, around the waist. So again, pretty cool. And you've got the black strap here that you can use to put the mask on the guy, and once you get it in, you can strap this in without much issue. This is softer rubber, so again, you can undo it from both sides. So again, that is really cool. So that is it for the accessories, and he gets quite a number of them, and I will say that's probably what I like the most. So let's move on to Triceraton here, now that we got the accessories out of the way. Nice big beefy figure. I did use my tape measure here to see how tall he is, and he's probably a little over 8 inches, probably like 8 1/4, I want to say, just about from head to toe. So definitely a nice size figure. The plastic is very substantial. He's, again, very solid feeling, particularly around the areas here of the forearm. These are very sharp pieces, so again, I'm happy for that. Most of the time, especially nowadays when they make figures, or action figures rather, they tend to make these pointy areas like out of soft plastic. In this case, that's not the case here. Same thing here. Same thing here. Like, these are all solid on the horn. So again, that is really cool. I guess starting off here with the head, you guys could see it's got some nice detailing there. Just trying to give you a bit of a closer look here. But the paintwork's done really well. Really no issues on my end. The eyes, the blue around the beak or the mouth there, the horns, the little detail of the wrap there around the horn, and the mouth. You guys could see it there. Really cool. And then if you look at the back, same thing. You've got his little thing here. You've got little pimples everywhere. You look at the back here, the chest, the plate, got like some scratches, the little rivets, a little spine looking thing. So again, looking pretty cool there. And then moving on to the front of the chest part here, again, more additional detail done in silver with the rivets, the scratches. You got the red triangle there, abs. You got this blue section that matches up with what's on the head there. The arms are nice, big and beefy. It is orange. Again, it's not plain. There's a lot of like sculpting and line work and paint that they've done to give him, you know, again, some nice detailing there. Moving on, as I mentioned, I love these. These are solid plastic. They're painted in this silver, I guess in purple. The hands, again, are pretty similar to the extra hands I showed you before. I think they're done pretty well. Moving on down, we've got this awesome sculpted belt here, done in this brown here for the pouches, and you've got his grenades that are also molded into the belt. You've got these two rats here that again are also molded into the belt. And moving on down, more pockets in the back. You've got here a little silver buckle, so if you wanted to, you can undo the belt and take it off. So we can do that now, just to give you guys a bit of a closer look here at the belt, and you guys can see it there. Some of the nice, got this nice big magazine on this side. Obviously, you know, this is the front, so this is the buckle here, but you can undo this and put on this guy as you please. So you can display him without the belt if you wanted to, but then personally I think he looks best you know, with the belt on here. You just have to kind of work it in there, and it is soft rubber, so you can stretch it a bit to try to get it in. It's probably just gonna have a bit of a hard time getting the rubber buckle here in there, but that's something you can do there. So we'll leave that off for now. I'll mess with it later. Green pants, which I always thought was out of place for these guys, just a standard green pants. I mean, really no complaints. They look like green sweatpants or work pants or whatever have you. You've got the rips here. You do have some shading here to give it more detail, you know, and you've got the rips and tears. So again, I think that's done really well. Back here, of course, you see this awesome massive tail here, and you've got the same color blue running down the tail as you do on the chest and on the face. And then over here, the feet, you've got that nice same pimply orange with the line work, the different shade of orange and darker colors. The was a great toenail. So again, really well done. Same thing here on the tail. You've got all these pimples and sculpting and line work, and it's done really cool. As far as articulation of this guy, at least so far, for the most part, he seems pretty solid. Like he'll be able to stand on his own without having any balance issues. That was my one complaint with a lot of these, you know, Super 7 TMNT figures, particularly the big ones like this. Sometimes it was a little hard to get them into some nice poses without them falling back or falling forward because of loose joints. In this case, the head does move left and right slightly. It's kind of hampered by, looks like maybe back here, but you should be able to move the head fully around. But it really just rotates around. It really doesn't move up and down. So that's it for the head. The arms, you've got, again, you can move these up and down. The joints on mine are a little tight, which, in all honesty, I don't mind. I rather prefer the tighter joints. So you can move them up and down. There is some bicep articulation here, but again, it's a little tough to move things around, but I'll have to play with it. But there is some articulation there. The elbows, you get less than 90, and that's simply because of the sculpting around these forearm pieces. They kind of just get in the way. Same thing here, right? You try to fold the arm and you hit the bicep here. So again, a bit of a shame. Just want to point that out. The hands here you can rotate and you can move in and out. Of course, these you can just pop out and replace them with the other ones. Moving on down here to the waist, you can rotate this guy. I haven't messed with him too much quite yet, but it looks like this is the extent of what I can get here. I don't want to mess with it just because it's so hard. You know, don't want to potentially risk breaking anything. Moving on down to the legs here. The joints on the legs do seem okay. The upper portion here of the pants are softer rubber, and that's again to allow you to give you a bit more you know, articulation. He can kick forward about that much. He can kick forward about that much before the rubber starts sort of bunching up and getting in the way. He can do a split. You know, I'd say that's a pretty good split for a guy this big. And his knees, again, he can fold the knees, full 90. That's about all you'll get here, but I think that's more than sufficient. And the feet. So you can rotate here. You have your ankle articulation off to the side, and you can move the feet full up and down. The joints here on the knees, you can also rotate them fully around. So again, that's really cool. And the tail back here, it's one solid, really well solid feeling piece. I mean, you could hold a figure by it without any problems, but all it does is it rotates. That's it. That's the extent of it. And you can't really move it up and down too much. But I think, again, that's for a guy this big, I think the tail is done pretty well. You can also probably use this in case your copy does have issues with standing to provide support. So I think that's one option if your copy has little loose joints. This one thankfully is not too bad, so at least I'm happy for that. I guess we'll see how it holds up over
and here
time.
I was able to put the weapons in his hands. I will tell you, those hands are pretty stiff, so it took a bit of force getting those weapons in there. You really do have to work them in, but once they're in, they're nice and sturdy in place, really, and the joints hold up really well. As I mentioned, the only unfortunate thing is you're not really going to get a lot of articulation here on the elbows, but he does look really cool sitting there with the weapons. I was also able to get the belt back on. You kind of just have to put it up a little higher than the belt, but once you get it in, looks pretty cool there. And here I went ahead and switched out the right hand, put a grenade there in it, and I went ahead also and switched out the hand here, and I opted to put in his little energy sword or whatever have you, and changed out the pose slightly. So again, you can get this guy in some decent poses. Again, he's not super poseable, but I think he looks pretty awesome. Love that tail sort of just sitting there. I did notice, however, now that I'm playing more and more with the legs, they are getting a little looser than I'd like, but he can still hold the pose. I think is a big feat that can kind of give him a good stable base there. So there you go. And I went ahead and decided to play around a little bit with the hand accessories here. The straps on this one, this little flip up screen that he has here on his wrist, are a little hard to sort of tab in place. If you try putting this accessory in this hand, it's way too loose on the forearm. So I decided to go this way. It does fit, but it's a little hard to get the little nub into the little hole here. But it does kind of sit in place without much issue. The mask here, I love this mask with the little hose and gas tank. I think it looks great. So again, I think he's pretty cool looking. Here we are back with the guns. Again, try to put him in a bit of a walking pose here. Again, because of his size, he's not going to be super poseable. I mentioned I am experiencing a bit of looseness now that I'm playing with the legs. Nothing that breaks a figure per se, and you do have the tail to sort of compensate. But overall, I love the look of this thing. Again, nice, awesome, chunky, big piece of plastic. Definitely hits all the right nostalgia notes here, and the weapons that are included are great. So again, I am so far plenty happy with Triceraton. So let's go ahead and get going here with the size comparisons now that we've seen the accessories and the figure. Starting off with one of the smaller guys here is Casey Jones. These are all Super 7 figures. So that's Casey right there. So if we move Casey out of the way, we'll bring in Raph, and that's to give you a better idea of how big Triceraton here is in comparison to the turtles. So definitely a pretty big figure. We'll move Raph out of the way, bring in something a little bigger, Baxter Stockman, and why not, let's put in his little mouser there. But yeah, right here you can see the size difference between these guys. All right, so we'll move Baxter out of here, move the mouser out of here. Let's bring in Scumbug. Love this little figure here, but again, you guys can see there the size difference. All right, that's some Scumbug. Let's get him out of here. Bring in Foot Soldier. Again, no comparison. Triceraton is a pretty huge guy there. We'll move the Foot Soldier out. Mondo Gecko. Again, he's in his skateboard. And even then, you know, the Triceraton here is fairly big. Well, that's what they will look like together. Move Triceraton out of the way. And we'll start getting, I guess, into the big chunkier and meatier guys here. So here's one of my favorite ones. Slash. Slash is chunkier, but as you guys could see there, he's much smaller, but again, that tracks, right? That's how I remember it in the cartoon. Here is the Mutagen Man, which again is one of the other bigger figures, but again, no contest there. Triceraton. It's a big, huge chunk of plastic. Bring in Rocksteady, one of the bigger guys, but again, Triceraton's much bigger, so those look really cool together. Bring in, let's take him out. Here's Bebop. Loving that Bebop there. Then you start getting into a bit more comparable size. All right, so we'll move Bebop out of the way. Bring in Muckman and Joe Eyeball. Nice chunky figures there, looking pretty cool together. Love the way that looks. And lastly, we'll go ahead and bring in one of my bigger ones. This is Wingnut. And he also comes with his little buddy, Screw Loose. And again, I think that looks pretty cool. Bit of a shame that Wingnut's got such a loose joint in his legs, because otherwise he'd be an awesome looking figure. But there you go. So I think that is it for all the size comparisons. Alright guys, so let me know your thoughts pretty much at the end of the video here. Overall, I do like the figure. It's got a couple of things that kind of hold it back, so it's by any means not a great figure, but the size is definitely there. The paint apps look awesome. He comes with a host of accessories. So overall, I would say yes, I am happy with it. I'm glad I get to add Triceraton to the collection here. So definitely good to see the TMNT Super 7 collection here growing. If you made it to the end of the video, again, thank you so much for your very valuable time. I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Have a good one, guys.